JCL Farm Consultations is back, and we're here today, we're featuring a brief discussion on farm budgeting and how we go about making decisions on the farm and so forth, So today, we just wanted to know that we have you in mind, all farmers, all stakeholders who are involved in the agriculture-based production. We have you at heart, and we want everybody to be on a balance level in which we can understand how to go about preparing our budgets for the farm and putting it into action as a whole, as opposed to just running a light discussion with yourself or writing it down and thing. We're gonna do a complete discussion today about farm budgeting, organizing a plan to carry out the actual production. Yes, so I just want you to know that continue to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Yeah man, JCL Agri Supplies and Farm Consultations, Yeah man, continue to like, share and subscribe to it. Big up. Yeah, so as I said that we're looking at farm budget today, And farm budgeting is very important. No matter how simple or how large the production might be, farm budgeting is very, very important because everything you have to take into account, Because budgeting and all is all about the estimated value of input, estimated cost of items that are used on the farm, right? And your estimated income that you're looking for. You see me? So at the end of the day, we want to be on point. Due to the economic crisis that we're going through with the cost of production, we have to understand that budgeting, what we're actually doing, is important when it comes down to our production. So today we're looking at what are the things bring you to the point of making a budget, and as opposed to what you have as your ambition to do as a farmer, right? I am a farmer, and whenever I see that there's a challenge at the farm, I try to get things in a more organized way. So budgeting is all about organizing what is important in the actual production of agriculture or whatever business you might be involved in, right? So alright, budgeting is also a measurable risk, right? It's a measurable risk. It's not a risk that you say, go out, you jump out, you go out the road and you just get something done and you just get lucky. No, budgeting is a measurable risk that we all have to take as farmers, right? So, things that we need to consider when we're doing budgeting is, what are we going to produce? This is the first thing. What are we going to produce? Right? The next important thing we want to look at, why choose this particular production? Whether it is crop or livestock. You understand, whether you're running a supply business, you're supplying goods to other farmers. Right? And next thing you want to look at, how much you want to produce, how much tomato you want to produce, how much sweet pepper, how much sweet potato, how much Irish potato, how much you want to produce, as opposed to what you want to actually spend. Right? So, and the last thing you want to look at also is how to achieve the actual production. What are the things involved in this actual production that you have to take into consideration? Yeah. So, in budgeting, we have two major types of budget that we have to look at too as well. We have our complete budget. This is a whole budget that has to do with you're starting something from scratch. So you're going to check the amount of water, the amount of fertilizer, the amount of plants, the land cap, the acreage of the land, right? You take also into consideration the manual labor as opposed to mechanical labor. All aspects of production is considered in a complete budget, right? You have a next kind of budget in which it is a partial budget. Right? The partial budget has to do with addition to the actual production system that you actually have. So say for example now, you're running a poultry house, right? You're doing broiler chickens, but you get a sideline contract to say, alright, you want to produce some layer eggs. You want eggs for another market, so you make an additional budget to your complete budget now. So that's what it means by actually a partial budget. This is important too as well, and no matter how simple the addition might be to your complete budget, it is very important and it accumulates a certain cost to the amount of items, the amount of laying hens that you might want on the farm. What if you don't have an infrastructure present? You have to also put an infrastructure into that, cost into as well, and work it down to the point in which you say, alright, how many bags of feed, what are the security measures you're going to implement? All of those come together with the actual cost of your production system that will be actually carried out, right? So in budgeting, you want to just look at these important aspects. And today we're going to go into a more detailed aspect in which we look at, first thing, we're looking at a complete budget. Complete budget. Right? And we're looking at different type of costing. So we're projecting what we're going to actually do for this budget. Right? So we're going to say, alright, we have a projected budget. Alright. This has to do with the estimated cost of each item. So before going into your actual production, you are going to then, alright. So for example, you're doing broiler. So you're doing broiler birds. You're doing broiler birds. A projected budget for broiler birds, you want to have also the feed, water, light, medication, and feed, light, water, medication. These are some of the main items used in a broiler production system. So you will then go to the farm store, check how much it costs for feed, how much water you're going to use for the entire system, how much light, how much medication. The water and light sometimes it's not measurable in a certain way because it depends on the actual production and what's the demand of light within that production system. And you can also use solar lights too as well. So as farmer you have to be innovative. Right? As farmer you have to be innovative in every single thing, every single aspect, right? To limit that cost. So this is why you actually come to this drafting board now, in which you write down all the necessary things that you need towards that production plan. Right? With that production plan now, you equal the cost. So say for example, a bag of feed costs you 2,700. Water bill for the month run you roughly 3,000. Right? Light, roughly 5,000. This is just estimated for a production unit. Right? Medication. You want to also have medication to help with the immune system of the chickens. So medication might run roughly about 3,000. And we're looking at about, say, we're doing 50 birds. 50 birds. Amount 50. 50 birds, right? This is important. And in agriculture, you have particular calculations. And we call it agreements, right? So in agriculture, we say, alright, the baseline for feed per bird, say for example, you're dealing with 50 birds. Each bird eats roughly 10 to 12 pounds of feed put on at least 4.5 pounds of flesh that is marketable to the actual supplier that you want to supply. Some persons might take it bigger, or you have like other entities like KFC and Burger King, and you have other entities that might use it at another level and say, alright, they want 5-pound chickens like the side shops and so forth, as opposed to KFC that might go and buy roughly about 4.5 or roughly 4-pound chickens. You know? So it all depends on where you supply the chickens at the end of the day. So this is just a projected estimation. Right? Next important thing here, so you want to have the labor cost. How many guys you want to use, or how many men, or how many labor you will actually labor force. What's the amount of person that you're going to use with this production system? With this production system, I don't see where you need more than maybe one person with yourself, because most likely it's just monitoring, right? And you want to have also the amount, the liter too as well. Liter is important. Liter too as well. Right? So all of this will be in your projected. But then you're going to have a projected income now. Alright? So here you're going to have the projected income. Income. Right? In your projected income. So just like how you got your projected cost, budget, you have your cost, you have your projected income. Right? In agriculture, you have to got all of these things in place. So your projected income depends on the amount of birds. So you deal with 50 day-old chickens. 50 day-old chickens, and we are going to estimate it that each one of these birds weigh 4.5 pounds at the end of production, right? Or call it 5 pounds. Alright, so we call it 5 pounds. 5 pounds per chicken, so 5.25. Right? So you will have roughly 250 pounds of chicken meat at the end of production. Right? With this 250 pounds of chicken meat that you have at the end of production, it also includes the neck, the foot, the gizzard, and the liver. Right? We're doing it like how best dress and the more recognizable suppliers of chicken meat in Jamaica actually do it. They package it back into the chicken. Right? So alright. We're looking at chicken meat at the cost of say roughly $200 per pound. So you're going to have your 200 times your 250. Right? And with that said, you have an estimated value of the chicken meat and the actual cost that you're going to encounter with this production system. Right? So from there now, you have an actual estimate of what your production system is all about. Whether you're doing crop or you're doing livestock, this is where you have an actual estimate of your production system in general. Right? So from here now, you can also have a projected profit. Here's where you move now to your projected profit. Projected profit. Your projected profit has to do with the expense of starting the production system with the chickens and with the medication, with the water, with the light and the litter, all of those things. Right? So the overall cost of the projected system or projected production that you want to look at is that you have your projected cost minus your projected income. Projected cost minus the projected income. And here's where you have the total sum. So this is the sum. Or you will call sum slash surplus. Right? So with this estimated profit, right, you can then decide now if the 50 chickens that you're going to do, if that is suitable for this venture or measurable risk that you will be involved in. Right? So you're going to then say, alright, after you get your projected profit, you can say, alright, you know, it costs me to transport the goods from here, son. You know, based on the distance and the place and the availability of the chickens and the feed, right? Because the chicken, the main priority in this system that we're featuring is the chickens, the feed, the light, the medication, the labor, and the availability of these common resources that are here to carry out this production. You cannot do it without these resources available to your disposal. If you get me. So, if you know you can increase it and get a better profit without exhausting your resources, meaning your financial resources, because remember now, you're doing farming, you don't have time to say, alright then, boy, we can use a whole lot of 100,000 and just do everything and forget about your family, everything. You have to budget every single thing. Right? So you can make this venture more lucrative to your disposal or to the needs of your family. Good. Alright. So from this now, you can move to your actual budget. Your actual budget has to do with the actual price of resources. Just like how you might sit down now and you just write this down and say this after that, and that after that, and so forth. But the actual budget now that we're going to feature, you can actually now look at the actual pricing of all of these goods. No? And then you say, alright, these goods are available to my disposal and I can afford them at this particular time. Being that there is a high demand for chicken or there is a high demand for the particular crop that you want to put in. I'll have to do another video with the crop production because enough persons don't understand the actual point in which you look at the crop production system too as well when it comes on to budgeting. Right? Because just like how we might know how much feed a chicken needs is the same amount, is the same relation to how much fertilizer and the type of caring, the type of labor force that you will need to take care of those plants. All of those things calculate to a particular cost. So we will have to look at that too as well. So alright, as I said, we're going to do the actual budget. So the actual budget brings us to this particular costing, right? And this costing has to do with feed, water, light, medication, labor, litter. These are just some of the items, and we'll just do a rough estimate of the basic things that we need. No, we're not building any poultry house from scratch, we're just working with the actual resources that we need to grow these 50 chickens to maturity at the end of 6 to 7 weeks. Alright, so feed, you realize I have some cost in here, right? And this should be, the light should be per month too as well. You're paying one general light bill, so roughly that per month. Right? But the overall costing for all these items to keep bring these chickens to 6 weeks is 28,000. 28,000. But bear in mind, this will be a part of the actual measurement at the end of the production system. Right? So when you see the light and water, don't pay much mind because you have to wait until the end of the month now before you get the light bill. So you know. But we have to put it here so you can have a draft and a basic understanding of everything that has to do with the actual production of chickens. Then we then come now to the actual income. The actual income has to do with the same 50 chickens. Right? We say each chicken reach the point in which they are 5 pounds. We estimate it at 5 pounds. Right? And we still get the estimated value that we had before in the projected income at 252 as well. So all 50 birds accumulate the weight of came to a total of 250 pounds. Right? What you need to consider now is the price per chicken. The price per chicken is $300 per pound. And this has to do with, this has to do with the overall cost, the economic value of chicken at the moment. Right? And that 300 pound is times by the 250. $300 is times by 250 and get 75,000. Right? So we're looking at just 50 chickens now. So now we're looking at the actual profit. The actual profit has to do with the difference between the actual income and the actual cost of the production system. This is when you know you complete the system and you're doing what is relevant as recording all the costs, because the cost might be different in the actual as opposed to what you estimate. So alright, in finding the actual profit, you have to go to the point in which you minus the actual income from the actual cost. So the actual income is 75,000 and the actual cost is 27,800. Right? These are all costs, so don't be misguided. These are all costs, and these are dollars, I mean. So the surplus, and this means the actual profit of this system of producing 50 birds, right? The surplus of these 50 birds accumulate to a total of 47,200 when you take away all your relevant costing from this system. And then you come down to the point in which you say you want a profit. Profit is the same thing as your surplus. Yeah, so at the end of the system, we can then identify where we have made the loss. And here is where you make an actual analysis that you say, alright, as opposed to what was done in the project, in the estimated value of the feed, water, light, and what the chicken might weigh and so forth, you will then compare the prices and say, alright, well, in further projections, I might have to just look at it and say, alright, I make better projections as opposed to what I might expect from the actual thing, because you know there's a whole lot of variable costs and there's a lot of fixed costs. The fixed costs might be with your light and your water, right? But your variable costs, the cost of feed might change, the labor might change, the labor cost might change, the price per liter might change. So as we said, we have to just come to the drawing board at every single time when you're doing your budget, right? Time is too hard now for us not to do a budget. And a budget, always remember this, a budget is a measurable risk that we all have to take. If you want to achieve something in life, you have to take a measurable risk. Know that you're trying to reach somewhere and you're trying to put yourself at a point in which you are not financially embarrassed, as we might say it at times, you know. So big up to everybody who tune into this channel, you know, and likes goes out to everybody, and I want you all to like, share, and one main thing I would like for you to do is to subscribe to the channel, you know, so you can get your regular farm updates and all the guidelines that you need to carry out your production systems, as opposed to what you might have, right? And please leave a comment on the page too as well, so we can follow up with whatever advice or whatever request that might be lingering in your minds, you know. So big up again, respect.